You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. The Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
What's up? This is Levi from Miss May I, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka The Bodfather, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. But before I bring on my awesome guest today, I want you guys and gals, please go out to the YouTube page. I should say, go out to YouTube, look up BODS Mayhem Hour, click the notification bell, subscribe, because we got a lot of great interviews coming up, and I know that you guys and gals want to keep up with all this. But without further ado, I want to bring on my awesome guest. We got two Kentucky boys on here today, Mr. Levi Benton and Miss May I. And Miss May I will release their upcoming album titled Curse of Existence September 2nd via SharpTone Records. Check out singles Unconquered and Bleed Together. Curse of Existence is the follow-up to 2017's album Shadows Inside. So Levi, how you doing, my friend? And welcome back to the podcast.
I'm good, man. Happy to be here. It's Friday, so
that's right.
It's awesome.
It's Friday, and I'm glad this is my sanctuary right here. Let's do all this. How excited are you guys to release Curse of Existence album, man? I know this has been like 5 years in the making since 2017's last album, but how excited are you guys to get this out?
Oh man, we were excited, and we've been excited because we got so long to work on this album. But I think the excitement has like reached another level because seeing everyone's reactions for us taking like 5 years in between albums for the first time and everyone being so excited. I'm really excited because the singles aren't just the good ones. There's a lot of good ones. So
speaking of that, man, how's the reaction of the fans reaction to these new singles, man? Have you saw a lot of good response from it, especially when it's been itching to hear some music from you guys for a long time?
Yeah, it's been awesome. And I tried some new vocal stuff and we tried some new things, and the reaction and response on those have been really good, which is cool because I don't know, it's just always a nice little confidence booster when your fans like you trying new stuff, because it could go, it's like a flip of a coin. They're either going to hate it or they're going to like it. So
yeah, but I mean, you've been doing this for a very long time, and this band's been doing this for a very long time. You're eventually going to be like, I need to go outside that box a little bit. I need to push myself and see how this feels. So how was it going outside that box for you personally? Because I mean, I know bands have their certain signature sound, but how difficult was it for you? And was it a little scary?
I think it's nice that we've been a band for so long, because the longer we've been and we sort of know our sound now and know our core fan base, it sort of was like and having that much time off, it was sort of like I don't really care about the judgment. I just want to try it. Like it usually we're scared and timid on it, but this time I'm just like, listen, we've been doing this for a decade. It's been 5 years between albums. Like we just went through a pandemic. Like I am going to have some fun. So it was cool. And this one was cool because like a lot of our inspirations, like at least for me vocally with In Flames and Darkest Hour, this album was cool because right before I went into the studio, I would like shower and sing to In Flames and Darkest Hour, and it like got me in the like melodic vocal like aura or like energy, and then I would go straight in the studio and record. And it was just really exciting because it made me bring a lot to the table that I would have never have done. Mm-hmm. So because that's where I want to lean to. I look up to those guys. So to be able to even do that kind of stuff is like it's exciting for me.
It's a proof to yourself that you can do it, and go outside that box for sure. So
yeah.
How difficult was it to sit on these songs, and has the pandemic helped you guys to be more creative possibly?
Well, I think that's another exciting thing about the music finally being out, because me, my family, and all my close friends have had the album for like 2 years, and they're like over it. And so it's nice for people's new ears to be like, this is cool. And I'm like, is it cool? I've been listening listening to it for a long time. I don't remember. But the cool thing with having so much time and no stress really on our schedule was this was our first time the album was done, like sealed up. We went home, packed everything up, and then after like I think it was like 2 or maybe 3 months home, we went back to the studio and re-recorded a bunch of stuff because we knew at that point the pandemic, nothing was letting up. So we were just like, well, we have all the time in the world, and the label was like, why don't we add some of this? And we were like, we could even enhance it. And that was like, I don't even know if we'll ever have an opportunity in our lifetimes or to ever do that again. So that was really cool.
Old to you, new to us, sick to you, get over it. Let's go. What led the song Unconquered to be the first track released off this album, man? What was it about it that said, yeah, this needs to be the first one to go out possibly? Was that your guys' decision or the label's decision?
That was our decision. That song it's just so empowering. And it's something we really wanted to sort of to come out swinging with since we were like radio silent through the pandemic. So we wanted to not just come out with a super heavy song or just super left field song. We just wanted something empowering because the whole song is really about some of the really hard times that we almost didn't make it through personally through the pandemic, and we made it on the other end. So it was just a perfect summary and first impression of what was going to be on this album.
And I want to thank you guys first and foremost for doing a full length, because I know a lot of bands have done EPs, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm a full length guy. I gotta have that CD, man. I want that full length album. And a lot of bands have just done singles throughout all of this to stay irrelevant. Did you guys even think about, hey, we need to do singles, or let's just wait and do a full length?
We definitely had those talks, and people asked us too. Like we were asked to do all the streaming, all that kind of stuff, and we had such a different attitude because we were, after touring for a decade, we're like, the world stopped, like we're gonna chill out. Like we just all enjoyed being home. I just had a kid. Our guitar player just had a kid. Like we're just like, we're never gonna get a break like this again. Let's just soak it up. So I just literally put sweats on and rode through the pandemic and didn't play any shows. Like I was not interested in a live stream or doing new merchandise for all this. Like we wrote and like did stuff, but it was to ourselves, which felt awesome because it was sort of like how it was when we were kids when we started the band. There was no pressure to do anything. I was just like, well, right when like it comes to me. So like we just took our time, wrote the album, and it's a lot more natural that way instead of just being like, hey guys, you got studio time booked in 2 years. You have to have an album done this month. And you're like, whew, okay, like get to the writing board. This one was very just organic, and it was so relaxing. And it's the best. It's the happiest that I think all of us have ever been, just being in our band. So.
Could you tell though, Levi, that break that you had, writing this album with that recharge? Could you tell the difference?
Yeah. Especially with this tour back and everything. Our first tour back we just did. The perspective has changed a lot. I think I know with everybody it's like that, but like, not that we ever took anything for granted, but it's just such a magical, cool thing we get to do, and we just did it for so long. We never took a break. You sort of just like. It's like you're stuck on an assembly line for 10 years. You don't really step away and look at it. You're like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Like we were just on the work line for a decade and never really got to like take a breather. So now that we took a breather and we're back to work, it's like we really realize how cool it is that what we get to do, and how cool it is how cool our fans are. Like this last tour is so cool. It's just awesome because even like grocery shopping and stuff, during the pandemic, like I was like, you sort of forget about Miss May I, and then I'm like grocery shopping and you see someone in a shirt or someone's like, hey, what's up? Can I get a picture? Like, yeah, what's up? Like, oh yeah, I'm in a band. Like, that's pretty cool. I can't wait to play a show again. Like, this will be fun. Yeah.
So are these all brand new songs or songs that didn't make the last album, Shadows Inside, or maybe just left in the vault that you guys said, hey, let's throw these on here? All
brand new. Yeah. We never really bring back B track songs because there's a reason they're beat tracks. And we never have a shortness of ideas or riffs. Our Dropbox of riff ideas is like infinite. So we just have like this Dropbox of everyone's ideas, and everyone just throws stuff in there whenever.
Were there any tracks that didn't make this album we can see on another album or an EP from you guys, possibly?
Yeah, I'm hoping there's a few songs that didn't make it. And the only reason it didn't make it because I think it was something like, I think it was like 30 something songs got cut down to 12, and then the album got cut down to 10. So there was a couple songs that didn't make it, but the only reason those ones didn't make it, it's not that they weren't good enough. It's just the energy and the vibe was really different from the rest of the album. So I'm hoping those come back, and those will come out because they're done and they're sealed up. They're like completely ready to go. They're really cool because they are unique. But yeah, we're gonna use them for something. Hopefully a re-release or like a digital, like, I don't know, something cool. We'll have fun with it.
Some bonus tracks. There you go, like that.
Yeah.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this album? I know these are your babies. I know you took a while on these, man, but are there any that stick out for you possibly?
Yeah, some are unreleased. Oh man, the song Unconquered is like, I'm really proud of us. Okay, I'm gonna list a few. Unconquered's cool. Bleed Together is really cool because it's intimate to me because it's sort of like a follow up to our song Hey Mister, because the song's about my daughter, and it was just really cool. It was actually hard to not write about her because I guess like when you become a parent, that's all you think about, and that is a very true statement. So writing songs was hard because I'm like, nope, that's about my daughter. Nope, it's about my daughter. I got to rewrite this. And then, but man, we have this song on the album. It's not out yet, but it will be a single. It's called Into Oblivion, and man, that is just, I don't know what it is about that song, but it's like one of my favorite Miss Mana songs because the song is just such a cool, and it's such a cool, unique sing along that we've never done. And the breakdown is unique because it's something like we've never done. It's all within the sphere of Miss May I, but these are just, I don't know what happened when we wrote that. We just added some flair that I'm like, damn, where'd that come from? Like that song's, and the concept and meaning of that song is really dear to me because I'm like a lunatic who's a workaholic, and I just never stop, and I'm never really satisfied with stuff. Not like that I'm bummed. I just want more and more and more. And that whole song's about that and going into oblivion because you're gonna go a little bit too far. So it's really cool because it means a lot to me.
I want to hear that song because I want to hear the outside that box deal again because I want to hear it, man, because that's got me excited. That's cool. I definitely want to hear that one for sure.
It's the fastest breakdown we've ever written.
Jeez.
I know it sounds weird, but like it is such a weird groove. I don't know. That's all I can say because I can't explain it. It's just cool. It's just different.
Yeah, but that experimental stuff, man, is great, and you've got to have that. If not, it's just monotonous. It's just like over and over and over. Eventually, you're just gonna be like, it's another song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the experimental stuff comes out naturally, when you just like, you feel it, so you play what you feel, and then you listen to it and you're like, what the hell were we feeling when we played that? And you're like, that's cool because it makes sense in context. It just, unless that song wasn't that song, it's not like you went out of your way to be weird. It just, you puked it up and it came out weird.
And sometimes, man, it's like lightning in a bottle. It's like, where the hell did that come from? But I'm glad it came from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Was there a track on this album that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to when it was first brought to the table? Was there one that just kept changing or no?
Yeah, actually, Unconquered changed like 4 times before we released it. And Unconquered's unique because it was written by Ryan, our bass player, but he is a guitar player. He plays bass guitar, but he doesn't play like normal guitar as much. He's learning. And he's starting to write more songs just on his own instead of it collaborative. And this was the first song he submitted that he wrote his own. And we're like, bro, you wrote this? And he's like, yeah. We're like, this is crazy. We're like, you need to start writing more songs. So like he wrote that. And that was his first submission ever, like from scratch to the band. And that was like, it was just so cool. I think that's why it stands out. And then lyrically, that song was actually very not uplifting. It was very negative. And our producer was like he was just sort of like, no one's gonna want to hear like this pity party. Like, and we've never been that band. We've always been an uplifting band. But I think with everybody in the pandemic, we were just so just not in a good place. And it was hard to write outside of that because that's all you're thinking of. But it was sort of like therapy because he's like, go back, rewrite this in a experiences and a positive outlook. And it was like, that helped me a lot. It helped me like cope with a lot of stuff I was going through. So it was nice.
So the album was produced by Will Putney, who is a workaholic, man. He's producing all kinds of stuff. He's been a Day to Remember, the Amity Affliction, plus Every Time I Die, Now You Guys, and A Ghost Inside. I mean, all over the place, man. So how's it working with Will? Did he get something out of you guys that somebody else may not get, possibly Levi?
Yeah, so that was a lot like I was saying with Unconquered. So like lyrically, he really just made me think about my lyrics, where most of our albums, they're pretty much set in stone when I go into the studio and I just track them, and we'll work on like pronunciations and like some melodies and stuff, but the lyrics really don't change because like we never really dig that deep. And Will was like started at the lyrics and the meaning, which was just really cool because and it made me sweat a little bit. I'm like, damn, he's like looking under the hood. I got to make sure like my stuff's all in order. Like, this is wild. And he wants to know the backstory, and he wants to know like why we got to that. And that's just awesome. Like, cause like I said, we've never really had to do that before. And I'll definitely do that moving forward.
Now, I know you guys have been doing this for a very long time, but what's the growth musically you've seen from yourself or the band working on this new album, or just any of your guys' music in general, man? What have you seen that's grown on this new album personally, possibly, if anything?
I think honestly, the musicianship and like letting our inspirations really show. I think we've always let our inspirations show within the box of like, it's still commercial and like we still have like a role to play, and this is our band, like this is these are like our peers. So like you sort of have to stay in that box because you can't just play whatever you want. But I think being an established band now and being around for so long and sort of just knowing our place, musicianship wise, it let us show those colors a little bit more. So like if we did have some black metal or some just anything that wasn't metalcore influence, we used to like sort of shelter it and push it to the side. But this time we're like, that's honestly where the Mismatch sound came from. So let's like push that pedal a little bit more. Let's do that. And I think that just came with being a band longer and then just getting better at instruments. Like the vocal stuff I'm doing on this album, I would have never been able to do on Shadows Inside, even though it was done. It was our most recent album before that, and it was like a decade in our career. There's still stuff we're learning, and which I like. I like pushing, like, and all of us do. Like there's a black metal like synth part on our album, like just stuff like that we've always like. We listen to black metal and stuff on their side, but a lot of our fans don't know that. So we're just letting it out a little bit more.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to this new album, Curse of Existence, or just any of Miss Mayhem's music in general, man? What do you hope they get from it?
Man, I want people to feel energized and positive, like after a song, and sort of uplifted. I want to be able to be that band that takes people either out of a bad attitude or gives you a morning, it wakes you up. I never want to be that band that you listen to like during a breakup or when you're upset. Sure. So I like being that uplifting band, and because the cool thing is like we bring that message, but packaged in black with long hair, tattoos, and in metal. Like I think it's cool that we can be a band with our message and just not fall into these like stereotypes.
I know that you had a lot of music while you were growing up, and especially into adulthood. Now to this, do you still have a go-to album?
Oh man, yeah. So it's actually funny right now. Like my go-to album isn't on Spotify for some freakishly weird reason. It got pulled off, and I texted the band. And I was like, guys, what the hell's going on? I think it's a tech error, but man, anything from In Flames is like my go-to. So like their Sounds of a Playground Fading is like one of my favorite albums, and it is like glitched out on Spotify right now, so I have to like figure out another way to listen to it. But yeah, that and Sounds of a Playground Fading, that's my go-to. And Oceans Between Us by As Lay Dying. Those are like my two go-to.
What's been your most memorable show or moment as a musician that you couldn't believe you're part of? That's just standing there going, wow, I can't believe this.
Opening main stage at Download. First day too. So playing the first day is really special because we didn't know this until you're on stage and you're the first band on main stage at like the biggest stage, rock stage in the world. You're the first day of download, Bruce Dickinson opens it and he flies his plane over the venue, and then they open up the doors, which I didn't know that. So we're like on stage sound checking, and this huge plane just like flies really low to the ground. It's like flies over, and I'm like, what the hell is that? They're like, that's Bruce. He starts download. I'm like, this is the craziest day of my life. But like, it's just like, it was insane. And the show was incredible and is the biggest stage till this day. I don't even know if there is a bigger stage that we would even be allowed to play. It's crazy.
I gotta know this too, man. Feeding off the vibe of the fans at your very first live show that you ever did, does it still have that same effect on you today as it did back then? You still get that those butterflies and everything?
Oh yeah, that's honestly why we do it. We tell everybody that because we still do stuff where like budget's tight or doesn't really make sense, but like we always say yes because like that we literally do it for the energy and the happiness of the fans. Like yeah, I could come home with nothing and I would still take every tour out there just because there's nothing like it. And that's how I try to intro people into metal. Or like if I meet someone outside or like outside of my world, like, hey, I want to come. I don't know. Oh, I don't want to it's too crazy for me. I'm like, just come see the energy. I'm like, the energy and like the positive community. I'm like, there's nothing else like it.
Folks, please get out and pick up Curse of Existence September 2nd via SharpTone Records by Miss May. Check out all their stuff. And trust me, I don't think you'll be disappointed when you give this band a fair shot. So do that for me, please. My friend Levi, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy this new album, these singles, Unconquered, Bleed Together, all these, man. How can they do that, good sir?
Yeah, guys, check out everything on MissMayIMusic.com and all our socials are Miss May Band, and we're always on there. So check us out.
And before I let you go, would you care to do another promo for my show, sir?
Yeah, for sure. What's up? This is Levi from Miss May, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up. You only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Go out and check out our Facebook page. It has that podcast link and that YouTube link that you definitely want to go to subscribe and click that notification bell to get all these great interviews on YouTube. And please, like I said before, get out and pick up Curse of Existence September 2nd via SharpTone Records. Check out everything Miss May. You won't be disappointed. And please, folks, I just want to let you guys know I'm affiliated with Metal Inc. Forum Obscura, which is an online magazine with obscure art and plus album reviews, and Diary of the Madman, the ultimate Ozzy Osbourne podcast with my buddies Dan and Josh, because they know everything about Ozzy and they know more stuff about Ozzy than Ozzy knows about himself. And Ozzy needs help right now. We love Ozzy though. We love him. Without Ozzy, we wouldn't be metal. Please, folks, if you can, in Eastern Kentucky, everywhere that's listening to this interview right now, donate whatever you can to the flood victims of Eastern Kentucky, because they need it. We need it. They need it in the worst way. A lot of these people will never be able to rebuild. It's that bad. Me and Levi are Kentucky fellas, but please help out my home area and donate if you can. So, Levi, thank you so much for doing this interview, man. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.